is good. And because he is so good, we are loved. All the time. God is good. But we are not good all the time. See, left to our own devices, we can be some bad apples. And sometimes we can produce some bad fruit. But through God's goodness and his mercy, he made a way that we can still have relationship with him. Now, we are good to the core because of redemption. It's not about how bad we can be. It's about how good God is. And how he took a sinner like you and a sinner like me, and he created us for a purpose. We're talking about it all. The good, the bad, the wins, the losses, life, love, and all of the above. This is the Bad Apples Podcast.
Yes, it is the Bad Apples Podcast. Merry Christmas. We are in.
Ooh, Lord.
This is December. Well, today is December 7th.
Yeah, correct.
Tomorrow will be December 8th. No, December 9th is when everybody.
This is when people will hear it.
Yes. So.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the grove, not an apple was rotten except for these bros.
Oh, jeez. That was terrible.
I know. Is there an apple grove? Is that such a thing?
I think it's an orchard.
I mean, it is an orchard, but isn't it called a grove as well?
I don't think so.
Yeah, me either. So
I've never heard it called an apple grove.
yeah, grove of trees.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think so.
You know,
I don't think it universally goes that way.
orchard was much harder to rhyme on the spot there.
Aren't you a rapper?
Yeah,
You'd be better at this.
I thought, yeah.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Hey, if you didn't know that, hey, we're actually real quick. We should probably shout this out. So,
Yeah. What are we shouting
Cody, you guested on PJ's brand new
Yeah, man.
Christmas album,
I did. It's crazy.
and if you're looking for some like not quite lo-fi but pretty chill
it's
Christmas
very-
music,
yes, chill.
you should check out. It's vinyl and snowflakes and vinyl.
Snowflakes and Vinyl.
A PBJ Christmas.
A PBJ Christmas.
Not to be confused with a peanut butter and jelly Christmas.
correct.
But a Paul Bill Jr.
Paul Bill Jr.
Christmas.
A friend of the podcast.
Yeah.
Been on here.
We love PJ.
We love PJ. Yeah, man. He talked to me on a Sunday night and was like, "Are you ready to get back into music?" And I was like, "Yeah, man. You know, let's do it. Been ready." And he's like, "All right, record me something this week." Then he's like, "I'll send it to you tonight, and I got to have it done by this week."
Oh, there you go.
And that was a Sunday night, and Monday night I had it recorded. So
Dang.
we did it. So
Something about cups of eggnog in there.
I mean, it really is. Like you put me on anything Christmas, and I'm gonna really have fun.
Yeah,
and
that's
I
right.
had a lot of fun.
Yeah, for me, a listener, PJ and Cody are two of the most Christmas junky people
Yeah, for sure.
I know, and so getting to watch them or listen to them have fun together was pretty cool.
It
So,
really was, man. It was a really great experience, and truly an honor. Like it really was an honor to be on his project. So
yeah, it is a pretty cool thing. I did tell him there wasn't enough country.
yeah,
He said that's album number 3.
yeah.
So, hey, Spotify Wrapped, you are not a Spotify user.
I'm not, man.
Dang, I always forget this.
I'm an Apple Music guy.
You got to get Spotify.
I don't like it, man.
You're wrong.
No,
I'm sorry.
I'm not
You're-
wrong.
You're just wrong.
I'm not.
Spotify, I am an Apple purist.
Yeah, you are.
So everything is Apple
except Apple Music.
except for Apple Music.
But dude, the lossless, the audio for me is what sticks me with Apple.
What do you mean?
They have the lossless audio.
I don't even know what that means.
It's spatial audio.
It don't matter.
It does matter to me.
Okay. As just a basic, what are you playing it through?
Headphones, car,
What kind of headphones?
AirPods.
Okay. The AirPods might work out for you, but you gotta have. I don't have anything that nice. I guess I do have AirPod Pros, so they probably would pick up on that. But I'm not paying that much attention.
I think as a musician, you'd hear it.
I don't think so.
I don't know, man.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
You're giving me a lot of credit.
I do give you a lot of credit because
I know when things are broken, like and wrong, but I can't. I am not a fine detail person in general.
Yeah. Well, when it first released, I think it was last year, or the year before, when they first started doing the spatial audio. I was really upset because I think they were going to up the price a little bit, And I'm like, what is this? I know I used to really dabble into like mixing and all that stuff. So I'm like, all right, I'm kind of a nerd sometimes about this.
Sure.
But when I went
call
through
it
like
an audiophile.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I guess I didn't know
You
that.
didn't even know what you are?
No, I didn't know that at all.
You need to, after we're done, dive down the deep rabbit hole of audiophile stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just some crazy stuff. You're gonna have a brand new Christmas list by the end of it, though.
Oh yeah, probably an expensive one.
People
too.
are insane about it, like absolutely insane about it. Just the way that they will invest money and time and energy into creating these audio experiences that are next level.
Yeah, man.
I just
Well, anyway,
continue. Sorry.
No, so. It took you on like this journey of like, okay, hey, this is what this sounds like, just regular, here's our regular audio, and then this is what spatial audio sounds like. And they gave Miles Davis as an example. They played, because there's a lot of instrumentation in what they played from Miles Davis. I think it was Miles Davis. Actually, I take that back. It was Marvin Gaye.
Okay.
And so the spatial aspect of it is they've literally created this way where you can hear every single instrument and it's not muddled up by the other instruments. And they've kind of just, like, it's crazy. Like, I mean, literally, just to describe it in layman's terms, they've spaced out the instruments.
Okay.
Where you sound like you're in the room with all these instruments. And when I heard that, I was like, holy crap, I'm in.
Gotcha.
And now they've like they re-release albums in spatial audio, and it's a big deal.
That's cool.
So I'm a nerd about it, but
I'm not. I just like that Spotify is it. So I am an Apple junkie, and I do love everything Apple. But I think that the bigger part of this is I'm super basic, and so like whatever the rest of the direction the herd is going,
you're not going to do that.
I'm going to go that way.
Oh, you are going to do that?
Yeah, I'm going to go that way.
Oh, gotcha.
And so yeah, I don't buck the the trend of, like, there's certain things. Okay, now don't read too far into this. People are like, oh yeah, Garrett's a sheep.
You're a follower.
Yeah. But in some things, it's like everybody else. Like, for the most part, Spotify is the number one streaming platform for music.
I think so.
And so I like that, because then I can share playlists a little bit more readily. I can access playlists a little bit more readily.
Yeah. I will say I think the main reason, though, I love the spatial audio, but the main reason is everything else I get with the package, the Apple, because
so you get the Apple TV, probably
exactly,
you probably get the cloud
storage, which is big for me.
Yeah, I pay for the cloud storage separate, but it's not very much. I think I pay like $1.99 for a terabyte or something.
Cheap.
So
it's cheap. And then there was something else I got too that I'm like, man, this is. Oh, I mean, and I'm just doing a family plan with Kia, so Kia's just on it now, and we can share music together, because we were trying to like share music, and it was like she's on Spotify, I'm on Apple Music, and it was just so
yeah. Well,
yeah, but I do like Spotify. I don't hate on it.
Sure. No, well, Spotify Wrapped is fun and cool.
Yeah, well, Apple Music does that too. So
do they?
I got my
Apple Music
year-end review, and I was not shocked, but also how many times I played "Not Like Us" by Kendrick Lamar was pretty embarrassing.
Oh man,
it was. I was like, all right, that was a lot.
Well, what was interesting for me is that, so thankfully, I'm not totally a victim to whatever my kids want to listen to.
Yeah.
So my top 5 songs were all my songs.
Okay.
And my top 5 artists were all my artists.
Okay, cool.
And this is a first, because usually like youth group creeps in there, or my kids or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, right outside my top 5 are my kids' favorite songs. Like they're the songs they like to dance to and whatnot. But Chris Stapleton was my number 1 artist of the year.
Really?
Yep.
That's
Which does not shock me.
He was 5 for me.
I absolutely love Chris Stapleton.
Yeah, man.
And
he was number 5.
What was my first song? Oh, this is funny. My very first song, my number 1. You'll never guess it.
Is it by Chris Stapleton?
It's a punk rock song.
Oh, it's a punk rock song?
It's a punk rock song. I was in the top 0.5% of listeners of this song.
I probably won't ever guess it. Was it Sum 41?
Stacy's Mom.
Stacy's Mom?
Stacy's Mom.
Fountains of Wayne?
By Fountains of Wayne. Yep. So here's why, okay? I don't sit at home and jam to Stacy's mom. Okay.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
Yes,
I really
you
don't. So I give drum lessons on Thursdays.
Oh, my gosh.
And one of the songs that John has been working on has
Stacey's mom.
been Stacy's mom. And he's got it. He's absolutely nailed the song, but we've been working on it all year.
Yeah.
But I'm playing it at least once a week for that. Actually, probably 2 or 3 times a week for that. But then it gets better. So I have a lot of, I listen to punk rock mixes. That's my graphic design go-to playlist. Like, if I'm doing something that requires zero brain energy and just creative energy, I'm listening to punk rock.
Yeah.
Because it keeps me going.
Okay. Keeps me going.
It does. I'm just kind of, I don't know. It gets me into kind of a creative space. And with it in the background, it pops up in the playlist every once in a while.
Right.
And then on top of that, so we drove all the way to Minnesota, which was like a 14-hour drive, and then a 14-hour drive back with the students.
Yeah.
And I can only listen to the Reliant K album.
Oh, I love that album, though.
It's so good. I can only listen to it about 3 times in a row, and then I have to switch.
Yeah.
And so then I'd switch it over to the punk rock playlist. The kids knew none of them except for Stacy's mom.
Yeah.
So they'd tell me to
Iconic.
skip until we got to Stacy's mom, and they'd want to listen to that one.
Yeah.
And then we get, so
Wow.
I amassed a lot of Stacy's mom listens this year.
Dude, and this is not to get off on a rabbit trail, but Reliant K.
That was, I think, my number 3
I
artist of the year.
love Reliant K. Their album, it's not that one, but it's the one with We Should Get Jerseys because you make a good team. Have you ever heard that one?
Mm-mm.
It was like 4.7 years ago.
Okay.
That was the album title. I loved that album. And his writing, to be a punk rock band, and the content of the lyrics and the writing is so incredible.
Well, and
him.
they're not angry.
Yeah,
That's
they're not angry.
That's like my favorite thing. And they're very like sarcastic. And
Yes.
and they're
Yes.
a little bit demeaning.
Yeah.
It's at their expense. Like the humor, the writing is a little bit at their expense, but it's great music. It's absolutely great music.
It is.
And one of my first CDs that I ever got was Anatomy and the Tongue in Cheek.
Oh man, great album.
Reliant K, and I learned how to play drums to that song or that album, and it was super fun.
Man.
But and then I told this story a couple of years ago or a year ago at church. But like my grandma bought me the Now, whatever the latest Now. That's what I call music.
Yes.
CD was
Wow.
that year, and most of it was garbage for playing the drums, except for All Star, which was also in my top 10 songs of the year because of John from Shrek. You get it right. Yes, Smash Mouth may have sang it, but it's from Shrek.
But it was out before Shrek.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. Shrek is who made that song. And so that was on there, but then that was my first foray into Blink 182. And,
Okay, so you were never into like the real dark emo punk,
not
like
real.
The Used.
Not no. That was not me. The darkest emo, like the emo stuff that I would listen to, and I still do listen to, is like Panic at the Disco.
Hated them.
Red Jumpsuit Apparatus.
Loved them. They were. I went through a phase.
I feel like I'm forgetting somebody important.
Would you categorize All American Rejects in there?
All American Rejects, though, I think are kind of somewhere between Reliant K and Green Day.
I agree.
Like in a different subset of punk rock music.
Were you into Green Day?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've talked about that.
But then when they released Uno Dos Seis, or Uno Dos Tres, I was like, this stinks. You guys are washed.
Is that a newer one? Or?
Yeah, it's their newest. I
didn't know that.
They released like 3 albums right after each other, and it was fairly recently, I think within the last 10 years. And they were not good. They just weren't good at all. And so American Idiot, and then what was the next one? It was the
I don't remember.
It had 21 Guns on it. There was one of the songs in there.
Yeah. Man, American Idiot was so good. Didn't agree with it politically,
No,
but amazing album.
man, it's some fun drumming. I didn't listen. I didn't care about any of the lyrics.
Right.
It was all about what was it? Trey Cool. Yeah, Trey Cool.
Yeah.
Was doing back there on the drum set.
That's cool.
He had some just wild tom lyrics, like where he would just like do different things on the tom toms, like whether it was it's Holiday was fun.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like the boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Hey, really fun. Another side trail here. John Batiste. I think, is it Batiste? Did you see?
I saw that I didn't watch it, but it's his first time hearing.
So first time hearing, and he turned it into a blues song.
Oh, that's cool.
And he's just incredible. Like he's a generational talent. But anyway,
all right. So I'm sorry. That was not what we intended to do for the first 15 minutes.
When we start talking about music, we lose it.
Well, yeah, and which is funny. I talked about music a lot there, and I'm not the music guy. Like I play music, but you're the listener of music.
I am the listener of music, but you are me and you always tend to get off on a rabbit trail with music.
Because you listen to so much music, you get off on a rabbit trail with anybody.
That's true. That's not a lie.
Yeah, it doesn't matter the music.
Accurate.
Yeah. So if you find yourself in a situation where you need to make small talk with Cody, music doesn't matter what you listen to. Jazz, he'll figure it out.
Oh, for sure.
You know? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I have probably a 24-hour jazz playlist.
Okay, there it is.
All kinds of albums.
And you're one of them crazy people that make your own playlist for everything.
You have no idea. I'm about to make a blues playlist.
You're ridiculous.
I am not.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I am not. I have so many playlists. It's just crazy.
I just listen to everybody else's. I love the radio feature on Spotify.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Where it's like you find a song and then you hit the radio button and then you're just listening to songs like it.
No, I like curating.
No.
I'm a curator.
I am not. I'm looking for stuff that sounds similar. And so like the national parks and camp are always in my top 5.
Yeah.
And I absolutely, because I listen to that kind of stuff, that folky kind of
love it.
Whatever in the office constantly. So
yeah, and I'm also a big album guy. Like I don't want to hear just a song from an artist. I want to hear what their creative what was this album? Like what in the scope of this album, in the scope of this one song,
trying to tell a story.
Right. What was the story?
That's why I'm not a musician. Because like that kind of thing is totally lost on me. Like I don't
you are a musician.
No, I play music. Dude. Maybe I'm a musician, not an artist. I don't know what it is.
Maybe that. Maybe I'll give you that. But don't sell yourself that short.
Yeah, I don't care. It's like I don't care what kind of story the album tells. I just want to. What songs were good. That's all I care about.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
AJR's last album, though, I will say that they did a good job with the storytelling on that, and I was hanging shudders, and I listened to the whole album.
Yeah,
AJR. It was right after their dad died. It was their first album after their dad died, and
who's that?
AJR for real? AJR.
I don't know.
You would enjoy them, especially with your spatial audio, bougie, whatever. Yeah. They're fun.
Like you've talked about them before.
Yeah,
to be honest with you,
they kind of have that same. They're like Reliant K in the sense that they are demeaning in some of their stuff, but they're really real and kind of funny. They're sarcastic. I like the writing is really good. They are not Christians.
Right. Right.
But I think that they're open to the idea of God. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I got out of their album.
Okay.
Which was interesting to me. Was like open to the idea of God. So
yeah, that's cool. I'll have to check them out. See what's up.
This was not what we had planned for our first 20 minutes.
I know, but I love it.
So, but we did promise the people that we would get into a gift guide. But before we do that, what are we drinking today?
We are drinking
More Bones?
Nope, nuts.com.
Oh.
The French roast.
It's pretty good. Thank you, Ron and Shar.
I'm really enjoying it.
This is delicious.
I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah.
I didn't go too heavy.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Still good, strong, but it's still strong.
Yeah, it's still strong.
I dialed back.
Cody only knows how to make one kind of coffee. Strong.
Even when it's not strong, it's strong. Even when it's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this is good coffee. Really good coffee. Just the French roast.
Yeah.
From nuts.com. And it's a really good cup of coffee.
Yeah, it is a pretty good cup of coffee. So thank you, Ron and Shar. Hey, if you just, throwing this out there, if you got coffee you want us to review,
Yeah.
send it our way.
Send it.
Unless it's Folgers.
I have some Folgers we can try.
Ugh.
It's not Maxwell House.
Okay.
It's
that's
one
fine.
step above.
I went to a diner yesterday for breakfast, and
Ooh.
they gave me some sort of swill that was coffee.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe I paid for this.
Yeah. But you know what? Here's what's crazy. Now I love my fufu coffee. I love my snobby coffee, right? I love my Ethiopias and my Costa Ricas and my Indonesias and Sumatras,
Yeah.
But there is something that is so endearing to me about a crappy diner cup of coffee. Like, give me a crappy diner cup of coffee in one of those thick mugs.
Sure. Okay.
Give it to me any day.
The diner mug that's,
Yes. Yes. I
Three-quarters
love
of an
it.
inch thick.
I just have, and maybe it's because I love Seinfeld so much, and they're just in this diner all the time, and they're just having coffee all the time.
Yeah,
and
but there's a difference between bad coffee and then there's burnt coffee.
oh yeah,
That's
Yeah.
my fear with like diner coffee doesn't need to be splendid. I'm not expecting somebody to roll out with something
right.
single origin, wonderful, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm not even like anti Folgers in that respect. Like if somebody brings me, but make it fresh.
Make it fresh.
But when it tastes like the first coffee that you ever made in the restaurant.
yeah, it's burnt.
Like it's been in the same, you haven't washed it, whatever.
yeah.
No.
Where did you go for? What diner did you go to?
Chatham Cafe. If you're hearing things fall, things are I don't know what's falling out of my pockets, but
There's a lot happening today. The chair I'm sitting in is broken.
yeah, it is.
Our podcast studio is falling apart. So please, send help.
Send help. Oh my gosh.
Send disaster relief to our little haven here down in my basement. We need disaster relief.
Oh man.
But anyway, yeah, I've never been there, but I'll try it because I love diners.
It's fine. It's like it wasn't anything to get super excited about.
Oh.
I had eggs Benedict. I'm a big that's something I can't make for myself.
Yeah, I'm either.
And so
I've never had it.
yeah, eggs Benedict is pretty good. You need to go to Le Peep though. Le Peep has the best eggs Benedict
I've been to Le Peep.
that I've had in town. Now, I've never tried I bet you Incredibly Delicious has it. And
Yeah.
I'm sure it's better than Le Peep. But
Hey, hello, Patrick.
what up, Patrick?
I
thought you told me that he was done listening though after
Yeah,
the Wonderful Life.
I got a text, and I think he's not
Tirade.
going to be my friend anymore over It's a Wonderful Life. But I still love you, Patrick. Just
Yeah.
kidding. He's awesome. And Incredibly Delicious is amazing as well.
Yeah.
I always try to find a time to go. I haven't been in a few weeks, but
That was one of the things on my gift guide.
really.
Yeah, so I'm going to add that really quick.
I bought an entire coffee cake from there for someone one time, and it was a huge hit. The whole thing was gone. So if you're in town and you haven't tried Incredibly Delicious, please go to Incredibly Delicious. And their coffee, they have good coffee.
Yeah, they do have good coffee.
I've never asked about where they get it from or what they do for it, but I love getting their latte. They're just regular latte. Sit down with it, and they do the little arts. It's beautiful, man.
Beautiful.
Good cup of coffee.
Good cup of coffee. So, hey, with that, we should probably roll into our gift guide.
Probably.
So, what we have done in the past, we've done this before in the past, and we usually said, hey, this is $10 and under. This is $20 and under. This is $50 and under.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. Well, here's the thing. This is like the poor guy's gift guide.
Yes,
so
it is.
If you're looking to spend less than $50 on people, we've got an array of items that we all have, we both have between the two of us.
Yeah.
And they've bettered our lives. We're trying to pick stuff that's new, so don't worry. I'm not going to tell you about the magic of Pair of Thieves underwear again.
Thank goodness.
But,
And I won't talk about dude wipes.
oh, man, that's right. That actually would be a killer
Throwback.
stocking stuffer, though.
For sure.
Yeah.
For
so
sure.
there are some things that I have intentionally held off my list because I know I've mentioned them before. And if you haven't heard about those things, you dig through our archives, try to find it. But there's some good stuff out there. But the first thing I'm gonna lead off something under $10.
Okay.
And I think that I did this for Emily for I think Mother's Day. I bought her a bag, not one or two, but 6
Okay.
chocolate croissants from Incredibly Delicious,
Oh man.
and took them home. And I think that wasn't under $10. Like, but
Chocolate croissant.
their chocolate croissants are so good, and we fell in love with them while we were on our cruise. So every morning, Emily got her coffee. It was a cortado, and then
those are good.
Yeah, and then a chocolate croissant. So I just bought a bunch of those. I took them to Emily for a gift, and it was a really great gift. So if you're looking for something to like just show up and at Christmas and make somebody's day, or if you got to bring gifts for the office, swing by. Incredibly delicious. Pick up their chocolate croissants. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah,
and they're delicious.
Yeah, go in, check it out, or they do curbside.
Oh,
I'm selling them today. We're selling
I
them
didn't
today.
know they did curbside.
You did. You could pull right up.
I always park at that church you're not supposed to park at.
Yeah.
Walk over there.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know where that's at, but I'm not sure if I picture it.
I feel like they're always busy when I'm there. So
yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So that's my first thing. What else you got?
All right, man. So my first thing, I'm going to go with socks.
Okay. What kind of socks?
Any socks.
Oh, jeez. Just socks? That's lame. You got to have at least a specific kind of sock.
Okay, for real. I do buy a lot of socks for people around Christmas. Usually Old Navy because they're under 10.
Oh, okay.
Usually they're designs of some sort.
I got you.
However,
you go like fun socks, like funny socks?
Sometimes, yeah. Like this year I bought, I can't say because people are listening. Anyway, well, you got socks, whoever's listening. Well, my real gift that I started doing last year was started doing custom mugs.
Oh, yeah.
All
you
right?
were telling me about this.
Yeah, and Walmart, let me tell you something. You can go to Walmart and you can go to their photo section. On the app, too. You can do this on the app. You can customize anything. I got some custom mugs this year for family. Now, if you're my family, I just gave it away. Some of you. But I put mine and Kia's face on it, Apollo on it, and it's an ugly Christmas sweater design.
Aww.
And $5, dude,
Dang.
for these mugs. I bought 5 of them.
Yeah, as you should.
People are getting some mugs. And last year I did the same thing, put my face all over a mug and gave it to my aunt and uncle. And they're getting another one this year.
Hey, look at that.
So hope
they got a collection.
Hope they don't listen. So yeah, I think that's really that's a fun gift. I'm kind of like Kia's really a sentimental gift giver. And I'm kind of like, I've transitioned more into like a gag gift, funny gift.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and okay, let me back this up. So this is my philosophy on Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
Now that I'm an adult person giving gifts to adult people.
Yeah.
Like, I want to give somebody a gift that either makes them laugh.
Yes.
Or improves their life in a way that they didn't anticipate.
Yes.
I don't mind giving gift cards. Like, it's fine, whatever. Like, but that feels like an obligatory gift. Like, I felt like I have to give you a gift, so I'm going to give you a gift card.
Right.
And so I think it means more, though, when you've got an item that you're like, hey, you may not have ever got this for yourself.
Yeah. And
not like a knockoff of another, like, don't buy a dupe, unless the dupe is actually amazing.
Right. Right.
But like, it needs to be something that you're pretty proud of and that you use as well.
Yeah.
And so that's where these gifts come from for us. So if, for example, my brother-in-law, in the past, I've got him socks, but I don't get him any socks. I get him the Darn Tough socks. Okay. Because they replace them for life. And so
that's amazing.
They're crazy expensive.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Once you have them, you potentially never have to replace that pair of socks.
That's incredible.
So, as long as you don't lose them.
What are the? I mean,
merino wool, so you don't have to wash them for 3 days either.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, they are fantastic. I got Darn Toughs on right now.
That's pretty cool.
So
I struggle with socks because
really?
I lose them.
Ooh, yeah, you don't want to lose these things.
Yeah, I lose socks, and it's really a struggle for me.
Yeah,
Kia thinks I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, I'm like, I lose these socks. Like, I lose socks. Anyway,
I got it. I got you.
Yeah, man.
All right, so my next one that is a little bit more expensive, but it really improved my life this year, and now I can't find it. It's my Yeti Rambler 10-ounce lowball mug.
Okay, I don't know what this is. Actually.
So, all right, it's a 10-ounce mug.
Okay,
that it's kind of like a rocks glass. It's like it's bigger than a rocks glass, but it's about the size of a rocks glass.
Okay.
And it's all insulated. It doesn't have a handle on it.
Okay.
And it comes with the slider MagSafe thing. You pop that thing on, So here's what I love
I know
about
what you're
this.
talking about.
So I bought it this summer because I needed to get free shipping on an order.
Right.
And so I just threw it in. It was on sale. I ended up getting for like $10. And so you can get them for $20 right now on Amazon.
Okay.
In any color you want.
Okay.
They actually have a really cool brown with an orange slider on it, like a blaze orange slider. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, what's nice about these, their newest design, they stack. So if you got multiple, they stack really easy. Okay. And then you use it for coffee in the morning. And maybe you're somebody who enjoys an adult beverage on the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. That rhymes with margarita.
We're not judging you.
Yeah, if that's you, this is the perfect glass for that because it keeps it cold.
Yeah.
It's not huge, so you're not going to you're not rolling out with a 32 ouncer. Because, I mean, I don't mean to be judgy here, but I can't drink 32 ounces of coffee.
Right.
Like,
Man,
that's just not me.
Are you serious?
No, not in one sitting.
Bro.
I am not a quantity person. I am a quality person.
I like it.
And so, and the other thing with like a margarita, I don't want to down 32 ounces of margarita. That's a lot of margarita. Yeah. So a little 10-ounce little mug thing is totally fine. And
yeah.
So I love that thing. It's small enough that I can pack it in my backpack. It's small enough that I can lose it in Colorado. It's
which may have happened.
Yeah, which may or may not have happened.
Yeah.
Or at the soccer field. I don't know. It's ultra portable, ultra losable, but it's really great.
Okay.
And like a little side hack here. This is via Mike Skaggs. You can buy, I don't know if you're familiar with the Yeti mugs.
Yeah.
The Yeti lids. They have that magnet.
Yes.
That slides back and forth. Them things are easy to lose.
Very.
But you can buy a dupe on Amazon for those super cheap. Easy. Mike Skaggs turned me on to that.
Yeah. I started buying the dupe lids of Yeti and the mag whatever the magnets are on top there. It's not MagSafe. I'm thinking of
it's
Apple.
like Mag Slider.
Yeah,
I think that's what they call it.
Yeah, but they work.
And we're gonna get to MagSafe. Don't you worry.
Love it. Yeah, man. But that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So that was my Yeti 10-ounce lowball Rambler. It's $20.
$20.
It will make somebody's day. Okay. And you can't have too many of these things either.
Okay, I love it. You cannot have too many Ramblers, tumblers, mumblers, whatever you want, because you cannot have too many of them.
Now they do have one that I'm interested in. It's an 8-ounce and it's a little more narrow, so it could fit in your cup holder.
See, so this is where I'm at right now. I just bought a new one. I didn't buy a Yeti. I went with a cheaper one, Arctic, because they have a handle and it's slimmer and it goes into my cup holder. And so
I don't like the handles.
Yeah, you don't like the handle.
No,
see, I'm the handle guy.
Don't tell me where I got to put my hand. All right. Cody's dead now. I've killed him.
Lord.
Anyway.
Yeah, but see, I'm the handle guy. I want to know where to put my hand.
No. So, it gets in the way. It's hard to store. To, it's got to sit a certain way in the cabinet. And I don't need that.
Yeah, I get you. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. All right. So what's your second item?
20 and under.
You gonna make it?
Coffee.
You say golfing?
Coffee. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with free range coffee.
For those of you that can't understand high pitched Cody, he said free reign coffee. If you don't know what that's from, it's from this guy named is it Cole Hauser? Clint Hauser? What's his name?
Cole Hauser from Yellowstone.
There we go.
He plays Rip.
Yeah.
And he started his coffee business. Now Garrett has argued me on the podcast before and said he didn't start it, but he did start it, and he's very involved.
Yeah, whatever. He just attached his name to a coffee business.
No, he's really doing it. He's really
he's really posting pictures, showing up at the place with the coffee.
He's legit. Okay,
it's like Green Day's coffee. They're not making coffee.
Dude, he's really making coffee.
No, he's really not.
Anyway, if you watch Yellowstone, he plays Rip on Yellowstone, and he's got this free reign coffee, and they're just they're basic, but they're not. They're just such a good a good buy, and they're under $20, and they're all the time doing deals. So you can get multiple bags for maybe $25.
Yeah.
And their product is really good. Right now, that's my go-to with whole bean coffee, is just because I can get it. I know the product I'm getting, and so I'm liking that. So I'm just really loving it at the moment. So if someone likes Yellowstone,
even if this is a slam dunk.
Yeah, even if they don't like it, and if they like mugs, they usually always do a mug sale. But their coffee is good if they like a dark roast. Their American Dirt is literally black as Illinois soil, So it's very good. They have a Texas pecan, which is not really flavored. It's not a flavored coffee, but it's like a hint, and it's a very good
flavor,
medium, like a medium roast coffee there. And they have their medium roast is good. Now, I would recommend, if you get their medium roast, that you dial back, because even their medium roast is a little darker.
I gotcha.
So if you want super dark, American Dirt's the way to go.
Yeah. And it's good stuff. I've had it. It's pretty tasty.
Yeah, we had it for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. The Lavalt's.
Yep.
Homestead.
I think. Yeah, and it's a brand that not a lot of people know of. And if somebody likes Yellowstone, then this is a slam dunk.
It is. It is because it's just, and it's not like you're not going to get like Yellowstone. Stuff on it that says Yellowstone, but it's the guy.
But it actually makes it even better.
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah. So if you like Rip, there you go.
It's not overly Yellowstone branded, but it's like if you're in, you know. Like if you're in the know,
Right.
So yeah, that means good stuff. All right. So I promised MagSafe. I'm gonna do 2 of them right here. So when we went on the cruise, I wanted a MagSafe wallet because we had like a key card that would get us into our room. It's how we purchased things on the ship. It's how we did everything. We had this little card. I didn't want to walk around with my whole wallet, and I didn't want to wear a lanyard with it around my neck. Yeah. I knew I was never going to lose my phone. So I got this little MagSafe wallet, super cheap. It was like $5 on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I slipped that card in there, and it was absolutely great because it attached to the back of my phone. So as long as I had my phone, I had my card.
Yeah.
I kept that, and like that was it. Like honestly, that's what I put in that wallet.
Man,
and so
that's cool.
It got me thinking though. I really want to move to a place where that's all I carry, and maybe a money clip with like cash.
Okay.
But yeah, it was really nice.
That's interesting.
Like just not having, because I have a pretty minimalist wallet right now.
Yeah, same.
But it still gets to be too much. I wanted something that I could always keep in my front pocket.
Yeah.
And most of the time I can't keep it in my front pocket unless I start collecting receipts in it. Then it gets a little bit too bulky. But
that's where I'm at with mine.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just an idea. MagSafe.
All right.
Wallet. Apple makes one. It's more expensive, but again, this is a great gift, especially if you know somebody who's kind of an Apple junkie.
Yeah.
Like I think it's less than $50, but it has Find My built into it. If you're not sure what Find My is, what it is it's Apple ecosystem of being able to locate items. So
that's
if
cool.
you have AirPods, if you have an iPad, if you have a MacBook, if you have, those kind of things, Apple Watch,
your
Find My helps you find those items so that you don't lose them. And so it does the same thing with your wallet. And so if you're near your wallet, you can ping your wallet, you can find it and that kind of stuff.
I love it.
But
I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty nifty. And then the other MagSafe thing, this is not from Apple. This is instead from Anchor.
Okay.
Anker. Anchor makes a 5,000 milliamp battery pack that is that is MagSafe, and so it pops right on the back of your phone.
Okay.
And it charges my phone from like 0 to 100, and then probably another 20% on top of that. Like, so if I needed another 20% kick, it would be able to do that as well. But probably, I don't know for sure. I've never tried it out, but it definitely goes from 0 to 100. And so
you have to link me to that.
Yeah, it's super nice. When I bought it ahead of church camp season because I'm like, I need my phone always has to be charged and ready to go
for sure.
And so, but I hated always having a cable running out of my bag to my phone.
Yeah.
And
you
so
would have a backpack with a cable coming out of it.
I know. And that I wanted something that was a little bit more trim and slim, and this thing is pretty thin.
Okay.
And it just attaches right to the back of your phone. They make one that has a kickstand on it.
Yeah.
I didn't really need
that.
that.
I feel like I've seen those.
Yeah, I didn't really need that, so I didn't go with that.
That's cool.
And it, it's also nice because if you're trying to cut down on your charging cables, or if you forgot your lightning charging cable, I know that Apple has now moved all of their iPhones, their newest iPhones, to USB-C.
Yes, it is.
I don't have the newest one.
I do.
So,
It's a little frustrating.
oh, really?
But I love it. Now, don't get me wrong, I love it, but it's just like I had to rebuy multiple things, and I'm like, all right. But I love the phone.
What's nice about this, though, is that at camp, again, because I had that charger, I never pulled my lightning cable out of my bag.
Yeah.
Because I just used my laptop charging USB-C, popped it into the back of my MagSafe charger, and then just attached it to my phone, and it charged through that. So,
wow, that's cool.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You following me? I don't have a diagram for people to see.
I know I need a diagram.
But it's a nifty piece of tech. Fits in a stocking, fits in your pocket. A lot of people don't have them. Again, these are things that, like, you can't have too many of them. So
for sure.
If somebody already has one, this is great for them to pop in their car, or in a bag, or keep at the office, or I don't know, whatever you're doing.
Yeah,
it's nice to have one of those.
I'm going to find one of those nifty gifties.
It is a nifty gifty.
I love that.
So
I love that. Okay, so where are we at? Under 30?
Yeah, under 50.
Under 50? I'm going to go with something that changed my life this year. Two things, real quick. Two things that changed my life this year. One, I'm going to leave with this. Tefal, okay? Tefal non-stick frying pan.
How are you just now discovering this?
I'm not a big, I've never been a big kitchen guy, and I didn't have, I've never bought skillets and stuff for myself, and I lost.
You're ridiculous.
I lost some in the divorce.
So, please tell me this isn't the innovative tech that you're planning on, like, rolling out here, right?
No, really.
Oh gosh,
it's changed my life. Like, it's just really like the way I make eggs and everything.
If you happen to have a friend who lives under a rock like Cody and who's never heard of Tefal,
no, I have heard of Tefal, but I had never bought any for myself.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So I bought it, and it was $20.
A nonstick,
and it came with two of them, $20, and I was like, "This is incredible."
You're ridiculous.
It come with a small one and a bigger one. I was like, "Man, this is just." It's changed the way I make eggs and everything. The way I make my bologna.
Oh gosh,
So, but the other,
please tell me this is more innovative.
The other one has been something I've been eyeing for several years, and I finally pulled the trigger and bought one. Electric kettle.
Oh yeah,
the electric
kettle.
And that has, man, I even make tea now. And I'm not a tea guy.
Yeah,
but I even make some tea, and I really, really love it. And I really love doing the pour over with it. And it's 2 minutes, like 30 seconds is where I've got it clocked at to where it's ready to go.
Yeah,
and it's amazing.
Electric kettles are great.
Yeah, they are. And gooseneck, if you're big into coffee, do the gooseneck electric kettle for the pour over. But any electric kettle, incredible.
Yeah, I think the gooseneck is the way to go, even if you're not doing pour over coffee, because it's just a slower pour.
It is.
And if you do decide that you want to get into, it gives you more options down the road.
I agree.
Don't box yourself in with a traditional, big spout kettle.
Yeah.
So,
a little bit more expensive. You're just paying, you're paying the price point changes about $10 if you go gooseneck.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually odd. Everything that I saw, like the regular kettles you could get for $20, the regular electric kettles, anything with a gooseneck was a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
So mine was right at 30.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Gooseneck kettle. All right. So, moving on. My super cheap item, and it may not feel cheap to you because it's a pen.
Like a writing pen?
A pen. Yep.
Okay.
A writing pen.
Okay. To write with.
So have you ever heard of the wire cutter?
No.
From New York Times?
Nope.
Dude, wire cutter's great. If you're buying something and you want to buy something that's decent quality,
get
on Wirecutter. They do reviews. They pick
Wow.
their favorite things.
Okay.
You better believe Wirecutter has the best pen.
Oh my
Like they've
gosh.
determined what the best pen is.
And you had to buy it.
Oh yeah, I bought it. I bought it in droves.
You're so crazy.
3 years ago, I switched all my pens over to this pen.
What?
It's the Uni Jetstream. You know, I'm for real.
Is that you have it right there?
Yeah, man. The fine point. So
Oh, come on. This is so
no,
tactical.
okay, that one don't talk about that one. That's not I'm not proud of that one.
Okay, you're not proud of
But
this
just write with it a little bit, okay?
one. All right.
So, yeah. It feels good.
I mean,
I like the fine point. I like the ultra
it's
fine
okay.
point. If you're a gel pen person, this ain't your jam.
okay, I like gel pen.
Oh, I hate gel pen. It gets all over your fingers, all over everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
So-
know. I like pens, but I like the Ink Joy paper, whatever. I love those.
So I really like this pen. Anyway,
Okay.
what I discovered this past year is that they make. You remember when you were a kid and you could get a pen that had every single color in the rainbow?
That's exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they make that an adult version where it's like red, blue, and black ink.
Oh, wow.
And I bought one at the end of 2023, I think.
Yeah.
And absolutely love that pen. But
Yeah.
I bought it in a plastic barrel. So then I tried to get a metal barrel. Well, I have the metal barrel pen right here, and you've been using it, like just testing it out.
Yeah.
And this one isn't just blue, black, and red. It also has green, and it has a pencil built
No
into
way.
it. Now, this thing's a little bit too beefy. I
Right.
would rather have.
I actually liked the feel of it. I liked the feel of holding it. I thought it was pretty cool.
But this thing is fantastic for like taking notes in a meeting because
Yeah.
like we
You
have
can
a
just-
paper agenda, and so
Yeah, that's cool.
whatever color I want to use,
Yeah.
you know, to make a note, I can do that.
Man, you have to link me to that too because I love pens.
This thing is pretty great, but just the blue, black, and red is plenty. I don't find myself using the pencil hardly ever.
I would actually utilize that at work. That would be incredible for me because a lot of times I'm keeping a pencil to mark on stuff and then going back and forth with my pen. So that actually would work really well for me.
Yeah, and so you can find that on Amazon. It's a pen. It's Uni Jetstream 0.5, and then just go like blue, red, black. It'll pop right up.
Yeah.
And that pen is
Yeah.
fantastic. I bought two of them, lost them both. Thought I'd replace them with these metal ones, and these are just a little bit too beefy.
Yeah. That's really, I love Uni anyway. So
Jetstream,
yeah, man.
and it's not just me. It's New York Times. They say it's the best pen out
Of course, we should listen to New York Times with everything.
there. With the pen, yeah, we're talking about that.
Just
Okay,
kidding.
all right, go ahead.
I love it. I really do. I know I make fun of you, but I really do love pens. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You got any more?
No.
Oh man. So then I feel like I should only pick one of my last two.
Well, you know what? I can give you one, but this is really only going to be for coffee lovers again.
Okay, that's fine.
Harry V60 under 50,
I don't have one.
and I don't know how to explain it because I had a Chemex. Actually, I take that back. I did not have a Chemex. I had a Bodum off-brand Chemex, and maybe that's why it was such a big game changer for me. And again, I don't know how to explain to you why the Harry V60 is better than what I had, but there is just something about it that is more. It's just better. My coffee is, when I make coffee in the Harry V60, which is a pour over with my electric kettle, it changes the flavor profile. It changes everything. It brings out the coffee so much better.
Yeah.
And it really changed my coffee game. So
Yeah. I think for me, like if I were telling people, then this is not one of my two items I just talked about. I could talk about stuff
yeah,
for an entire episode. In fact, I pretty much have.
we're there. Yeah, we're at it.
Yeah. So, but with the coffee bit, I always point people to AeroPress.
It's
Here's
amazing.
why.
Yeah.
Because you can't mess it up.
Yeah.
Like it is foolproof. With the
Yeah.
pour over, you gotta have your timing right, gotta have your temperature right,
That's
gotta
true.
have all the things right. With the AeroPress, it is, you set it up, you
Yeah.
dump in the grounds,
Yeah.
you dump in the water, you flip it over, you press it out, done.
Yeah.
And it's pretty idiot proof. Pretty
Well,
idiot proof.
Well, don't forget to lock in
Oh.
your filter.
I said pretty idiot.
Pretty idiot.
If you watch a
because,
video on it, it makes it a lot easier. You do need to like it. There's some tips and tricks to make it less likely that you screw it up.
Yeah. Kia got me one for Christmas, and I have not used. She gets on to me all the time because she thinks I don't use it at all. But I do love it. It is, to me, even better than the Hario V60. The cup of coffee that I make in an AeroPress is 10 times better than any other coffee.
Well, why don't you use it?
Because I don't know.
See, I think it's easier to clean. I think
it's much easier to clean.
It's easier to clean. It's easier to use.
Yeah,
Like-
it's much easier. It's for me. I a lot of times will either make coffee for Kia or make coffee for work, and I want more coffee, and it doesn't make more than a cup of coffee, so I want quantity.
Okay.
Because I'm the guy who's putting coffee in my Stanley.
Oh yeah.
know?
You're going to work and you don't have the opportunity to get up and go get more coffee,
Right.
the way that I do. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
I've got an electric mug. I make my Chemex full of coffee.
Of course you do.
And I just dump the water in, or dump the coffee into my electric mug, and it keeps it nice and warm all morning long.
You
All
are
right.
such a
Yeah. I know what I am.
rub it in.
I know what I am. Anyway, so I got two more items. I'm going to go through them fast. The first is a pair of sunglasses.
Okay.
They're super cheap. They're called Goodies. Have you seen the Goodies sunglasses?
Actually, I think I have. Were these on Shark Tank?
I don't know.
I don't know
But
either.
here, you can hold mine real quick.
Okay, I'll
So
hold
I got mine for $20. I think they retail for like 25.
Okay.
And they are a classic style, like I think it's the Wayfair
I love
style.
it. I
style.
love these.
They have like a rubberized grip around them, so they stick on your head pretty well without being uncomfortable. And they're $20. And so
It's not bad.
if I lose them, or they get broken, or they get stepped on, or my girls wear them, or whatever, I'm not worried about them.
That's
Like,
my style of sunglasses,
and so-
too.
They're really cheap. They have in a million colors.
Yeah.
So there was a girl at youth group this summer that every day at camp she had these on, but they were a different color. She said that she had 35 colors.
No way.
Yeah, 35 colors of them.
That's crazy.
So I could not believe it. But
Yeah, I can't believe that either.
Anyway, and I mean, she bought more downtown. She bought 2 more pair while we were there.
You can just get them anywhere?
You can get them anywhere, pretty much anywhere. Goody sunglasses, they're great. They come with a little microfiber case that you can put them in.
Okay.
And
Love 'em.
Again, they're crazy cheap. So you break them, who cares? You lose them, who cares?
Yeah.
And they do the job. They keep the sun out of your eyes. So those are great. The other thing is, and this is super exclusive to like if you live in Springfield. So I'm very sorry. But you might be able to find these online. But at Sam's right now, and I'm wearing them right this second.
Okay.
There are a pair of Puma sweatpants.
Ah.
They've got like the jogger cuff,
Yeah.
men's sweatpants,
Yeah.
and they're terry cloth on the inside.
Okay.
I'm not a sweatpants guy.
Okay.
Like, how many times have I been to your house, and every time I'm always wearing jeans.
yeah, you're always in jeans. I'm never,
Always in jeans.
Yeah.
But the last 2 times I've been here, I've been in these same sweatpants in
Okay.
2 different colors.
Okay.
So I love these sweatpants so much
Yeah, man.
that after I wore my gray ones 5 days in a row without washing them, I know it's disgusting, but
nope.
5 days in a row, I was like, I have to buy another pair before they
That's awesome.
get these things out of here. So I went back and bought another pair of them. So now I have them black and I have them in gray, and they're fantastic. So
Yeah,
if you
that's
are
awesome.
in Springfield, you're looking for sweatpants, like just some lounging, like regular pants, you can wear them out of the house and not
Yeah.
look like an absolute weirdo. Like the Puma sweatpants
love
at
'em.
Sam's, get them now before they're gone, because most of the sizes, like I had to hunt for these.
Okay. I'll check it. I'll start to find them
Or
because
you
I
can-
love sweatpants.
Yeah, or you can try to find them online, but I think
Yeah.
they're $30. And so,
Okay.
which to me, I was like, man, $30 for sweatpants feels like a lot.
Yeah.
Especially when you can buy the Members Mark one for like $11.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I have the Members Mark ones, and I have these, and I'm getting ready to throw away my Members Mark ones
Game
to make
changer.
room in the drawer for these,
Love
because these things are so great. So,
You sound like me when you find something, you buy multiple colors of it.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
All right, last thing,
All right.
because and then we're gonna get into something like serious, but we can't talk about it for very long. But if you were gonna ask Santa
Hmm.
for one item like an elusive item.
Oh man.
It doesn't need to be specific, but if he could bring you this to solve your problem that you have in your life, what would it be?
I don't know.
I got one.
Yeah, you go.
So I have been on the hunt. This is going to sound so dumb, but I've been on the hunt for the perfect T-shirt for the last 2 years.
Okay.
Okay. I hate.
All right.
I absolutely hate buying T-shirts that either pill up
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah.
They fit terrible. They
Yeah.
fit right the first time. And then
right.
after that, they don't fit correctly. You can't get the sizing right.
Yeah.
Or like I've got online and I've looked to see what the perfect T-shirt is. And it's a lot of, the Fresh Clean Tees or the True Classic. I got some of the True Classic ones and sent them right back. They're just the cheap T-shirt that you could go and get. What is that? It's Bella and Canvas T-shirts that you can buy them online for less than $10, and they're the same. They're same shirt, same cut.
I was interested in the True Classic, so I'm glad
same
you said
cut.
That. That's interesting.
So save yourself $20 a shirt because they're so expensive.
That's ridiculous.
But the problem is I keep looking for these perfect T-shirts, and a lot of people claim they've got them, but they're 30 and up, which to me just seems crazy.
No way.
For a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to find that T-shirt that's less than $20.
Okay.
In every color imaginable. Because if I could do that, I think I could perfect my wardrobe.
Man, okay.
Just about.
I like that.
Yeah, I also have had a major problem with jeans this year. I want a better pair of jeans.
That's where I was going.
So,
but after you said that, it made me think, like, what do I need right now? Mine is the perfect pair of jeans.
So,
because I'm really struggling right now.
If Santa's listening to our podcast,
yes, he is.
I want the perfect pair of T-shirt perfect pair of T-shirts.
Yes.
I want the perfect T-shirt. You want the perfect jeans
for sure.
Yeah.
And there's one called the perfect jean, but I just don't want to pull the trigger and pay $100 for
$100.
Like I think they're $80, but like I don't want to do it.
I almost bought some expensive jeans on Black Friday. They were down from 130 down to 75.
Yeah.
And it's the Origin jeans. Jocko Willink, you know who Jocko is?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So he is part owner of this company, Origin. They make all their stuff here in the United States.
Yeah.
And supposedly the quality is just incredible.
I'm a big Lucky brand jean guy, but they're pricey, so I only have like a couple of them. But they last me, and I have a pair of American Eagle jeans that are literally about to just go kaput.
Yeah.
If I bend the wrong way, and everything's too big right now on me, which is not a bad thing.
That's great, man.
But like,
keep losing that weight.
Like I
got a wedding coming.
I just don't have the perfect all my jeans are too big, so I'm wearing them up on my stomach and. And it's just kind of miserable. So I just need the perfect pair of jeans.
Yeah, I've got some Levi's, and that's kind of been my go-to brand lately. But even them, like they all wear out within a year. I don't have a single pair of jeans that are more than 12 months old.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could say my
except
Lucky,
for my black jeans, like I don't wear them often enough.
My Lucky and my American, they've lasted me years, so I guess I could say good about that. But
yeah,
I don't know.
So Santa, bring us better clothes.
Come on, Santa. Come on, Saint Nicholas.
I believe in you. All right, we're getting a refill here. It's been a long episode. But we've been talking about Christmas movies, and we've been talking about like the spiritual application of that. We don't want to. We were going to talk about identity. That's going to be a longer episode, so we're going to do that next time
for sure. Yeah.
So
that'll be a 2-hour episode.
Whoa!
I'm just kidding.
Whoa! I mean, like we want to give that a lot of time. This one is kind of it's a layup almost, but the movie is one of your favorites.
Yeah, definitely. It was in my top 3 if we're doing Desert Island.
Yeah,
it's. I watch it so many times because I love the star of it.
Who's the star?
Tim Allen.
Yeah, Tim Allen's so great. What movie are we talking about?
The Santa Claus.
The Santa Claus. I kind of feel like this is one of the underrated ones.
I do feel like people don't talk about it enough.
Yeah.
But then when you start talking about it, people are like, oh, and the Santa Claus. Like, it's so good.
And it's still fights above its weight class now.
Oh, for sure.
I think that like it is such a good one to watch.
Yeah.
And
yeah. And I think you really got to love Tim Allen. Some people really don't like Tim Allen.
Yeah.
You got to love his humor. You got to love, he's in the movie. He's the star. You
Yep.
got to love him. I love Tim Allen. If you like Tim Allen, he's the Home Improvement Tim Allen,
Yep.
the Last Man Standing Tim. He's the same Tim Allen.
Yeah.
But I love it.
What's funny to me is that now that you talk about that, like I'm replaying some of the images, like or the segments of him with his kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I parent like that way more than I want to admit. Like, where it's like, yeah, I know. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, the turkey's on fire. Oh,
Yeah.
Or so it's that mix between being goofy but also being a little bit sarcastic. But then the other thing, it's like, Dad, will you go check to see what's going on outside? I'm not going outside. And then he does it anyway. That happens to me all the time with the girls.
Yeah.
Like, Dad, can I get a drink? No, you don't need a drink. It's bedtime. I'll be back with a cup and a straw.
Yeah.
Do not move. That sort of trying to skirt the line between being firm but also not a jerk, and so
He does it so well. And it's just, and you're right. I'm glad you mentioned the sarcasm because he's so sarcastic. Even in the Denny's, when they're at the Denny's and they're going through all the stuff they don't have, and his sarcasm is just incredible. Yeah. I love it so much. I love sarcasm. But yeah, it's great. It's always been one of my favorite movies. It's one of the movies that I remember watching the most when I was young.
And it was a big deal in the 90s, man.
Big deal.
I remember watching that a lot and thinking, man, this is a glimpse at Santa. Like, this is.
Yeah, and I just think like it just works really well as a Santa story.
And when I imagine the North Pole and Santa and all those things, that's what I picture. It's
Absolutely.
None of the rest of it.
Absolutely. And I think real briefly, I think they have single-handedly one of the best Santa suits of a movie of all time.
Oh yeah.
Of all time.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if people talk about that, but
and that was like as a kid watching the ELF.
Yes. Man.
The secret agent elves.
Yep.
Like,
yep.
Have you? Okay, this is a bit of a sidebar. Have you watched Prep and Landing?
No, never heard of it.
Do you have Disney Plus?
Yeah.
You need to watch the Prep and Landing stuff. It's for kids.
Okay.
But it's really great, and it kind of leans into that special agent elves sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
It's fun. It's a really great show. So funny.
Wow. Yeah.
For a cartoon, we wait until like the second or third week of December to watch it because the girls will watch it on repeat until Christmas is over, and I still want to like the show.
Okay. I've never heard of that, so I'll have to check that out.
Prep and Landing. If you got kids and you're listening, you need to watch that with your kids. It's awesome. If you don't have kids, it's a cartoon, but it's great.
Okay. Cool.
Disney Plus. Anyway, so the Santa Claus though.
Yep.
What's our takeaway? How do we tie the story of the Santa Claus to? Well, let's back up. Give us like a plot line of this.
Okay, so you got this guy I think he's a toy manufacturer or Scott Calvin. He's a toy salesman or a toy creator, something. He's something in toys. And big time business guy, and he's got this family, and I think they had already went through divorce, and you got Neil, and you got
there's a stepdad,
there's the son, and he's obviously not a very good, he's not very present. Yeah, he's got some stuff that he needs to work on in his life, and he's got his kid for Christmas Eve. And they're going through the stuff, and nothing's really prepared. He's not got anything really prepared. And Santa drops down on the roof and
falls off the roof.
Yeah, Charlie hears him. So
that's his son.
Scott goes out and checks it, and sure enough, it's Santa. And he yells at him, and he falls off the roof, and essentially, we'll just say retires.
Goes to sleep.
Yeah, he goes to sleep. Which we do learn that they don't really die. They
just disappear.
They just stop being Santa.
Yeah.
But here Scott Calvin is now, and there's this Santa suit, and he here's his purpose.
And he puts on the Santa suit.
Yeah.
Almost like because he's cold.
He's cold, yeah.
Yeah, like because he's out there in his
drawers.
boxers, and and so he puts on the jacket, gets in the sleigh with Charlie.
Yeah.
And like he just the reindeer take off and he ends up delivering presents that Christmas.
Yeah.
Crazy thing, finds himself in the North Pole.
Yep.
But then his whole life is turned upside down. He becomes Santa Claus.
He becomes Santa Claus.
And so and he kind of pushes it back against that originally, and then by the end of the movie, he's trying to like establish this as his identity and his purpose.
Yeah.
It's like, no, this is who I am. Like he accepts it.
Yeah, he does.
Before the movie accepts it.
Right.
And Charlie accepts it right away. But
immediately.
Yep.
Yeah. And he goes through that, which I think is so, my goodness, just looking at my life, there's so many times where you look at your purpose and you deny it. You're like, no, this is not what I'm supposed to do, or I'm not good enough to do this. I can't do this. I'm not, or just the struggle of belief that he has. Like, this is not really, like, this is not real. I'm not really seeing reindeer. I'm not really flying. Yeah. Even the next morning, he's like, did that really happen? It was just a crazy dream, Charlie. Yeah. And then they have the snow globe, which is that centerpiece of the belief, like, hey, like this is the constant in the whole movie. Like you shake this snow globe and I'm there.
Yeah.
So there's that anchor of faith and belief there.
Sure.
That kind of keeps it going throughout the movie, that it's always there.
Yeah. Well, and so the takeaway here, you mentioned it, purpose.
Yeah.
Is like we see Tim Allen's character, Scott Calvin, the Santa Claus. He ends up putting on the suit, and he assumes this role.
Yeah.
And I just, as I was saying that about the different stages of acceptance there, it really got me thinking about how cool the story is, because it talks about these 3 stages of acceptance. In most situations, and like most movies, it's like the hero has a calling on their life.
Yes.
And their entire story arc is them fighting the calling.
Yep.
And the end of the story is them accepting the calling and going through with that.
Yeah.
This story is different.
It is.
Because it's not just him receiving this like calling on his life.
Right.
But then he does accept it about 3/4 of the way through the movie.
Yeah.
But then the rest of everybody else won't accept the calling that is on his life.
Yeah, true.
And there's this tremendous pressure from the outside that says, hey, you're not who you think you are.
Exactly.
What you believe your purpose isn't actually your purpose. In fact, it's not real.
Yeah. Stop believing that.
Yep. So there is an obvious faith tie to that.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's something that we don't typically talk about, because typically our greatest critic is ourselves.
For sure.
And so I think that there's this 3-stage acceptance as well. Yeah. There is the calling on our life that we are able to, like, when we see it in Scripture, it's very clear. Ephesians is like, you are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus for good works, prepared in advance for you to do.
Yes.
Like, if you thought that being a Christian is you accept Jesus and now it's like just chilling until you get to heaven, you missed it. Because
for sure.
You have a purpose right here and right now.
Yeah.
And if you think that the purpose is only reserved for the holy people, again, you're wrong. You're being transformed by the Holy Spirit, by Christ working in your life to do a work. Now, I can tell you that, and you can hear that, and you can believe that, but then there's a whole other piece of this where we have to accept that of ourselves. And usually in this show, we talk about how we are our own worst critic.
Yeah.
And like how we're the ones who oftentimes keep us from doing that. And I think in the Santa Claus, you see that with Scott. Like he was the one who was going to shut that down. Like nobody else was going to shut that down.
Right.
It was going to be like he ultimately had to make the choice to step into the role that was placed before him.
Yep. And that's a good point, because I think a lot of times in life we try to manufacture our purpose, and we try to jump in on something and say, hey, God, join me.
Yeah.
But what we really have to look for is we have to look towards what God is doing currently and then join him in his work.
Yep.
And I think that is exactly what the Santa Claus was doing. Was Christmas was already Christmas.
Yep.
the job of Santa was already the job of Santa.
Yep.
That's what was going on.
Yep.
And Scott Calvin had to step into that,
Right.
and say, hey,
Oh, that's cool too. I didn't even think about that.
What does he do? Like, what is Santa doing? I'm going to step into that, and I'm going to continue the work that's already been doing in this Christmas kingdom. And then tying it back to, hey, God's already doing a work in the kingdom.
Yeah.
We have to find what he's wanting us to do and join his work.
Yeah. I still think like one of my favorite 2-part episode series that we ever did was the With series. And
Absolutely.
It still
Absolutely.
continues to be like our top listen. But
It does.
That book, and we talked about it a little bit this summer.
Yeah.
And here it is again.
Good tie back.
Being a partner in what God's already doing.
Yep, that's good.
If you are one of the things that I find is kind of interesting, and if you've struggled with this, I'm not making light of your struggle, listener, but I feel like there is a great amount of distress over discerning God's will for our life.
Absolutely, man.
Like, and I'm not saying that's not stressful. It's just some stress for that. But the problem that we run into where we get the stress is that we're very detail oriented. We want the details. And so it's like, I'm trying to discern God's will for my life.
Yeah.
And so I'm putting all of these, like, I need to know the specifics of his will so that I can do exactly what he says. But the reality is God has not hidden his will from us.
Right. Correct.
His will would be that you would be saved by the grace of Jesus, and that you would go out and make disciples in his name and love your neighbor as yourself.
Yep.
Like that is it.
Yep. It's laid out.
There is no, now the specifics of that,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that there's, but the reality of it is that has been clearly handed down to us as the will of God.
Absolutely.
And so if you're operating outside of that piece, if your life isn't reflecting those fruits, then you're not actually carrying out the commission that's been placed on your life.
Correct.
Like and that means that you're not upholding that will that God has for you.
Yeah.
If God's will for your life doesn't involve those fruits, where you are loving other people. I'm not saying this has to be your vocational job,
right?
But that you're loving other people and you're making disciples. If you're not doing those things, then you're not doing what Jesus has told us to do. And
that's right.
And he wasn't exclusive. He didn't say like just this group is going to make disciples.
That's right.
It's like, no, if you're going to follow me, you're going to follow and pattern your life after me.
Yep.
That's my will for you, number one.
Yep.
And number two is part of following me and patterning your life after me is you're going to bring other people alongside and encourage them as they're following Christ as well.
Yeah, and I think people, you kind of briefly mentioned this, I think so many people only look at purpose and ministry as vocational.
Yeah.
And you're only looking at this title and you're only looking at the grand scheme of being Santa Claus or being the guy or being on the stage. And that's not what it is. It's just as big to do something small in God's kingdom than it is to do something on the stage or doing pastoral work or doing vocational work. Everything has its place and has its, has its working and its purpose. And I think that's something that we get churchy about so much with talking about, ministry and purpose and, if you're called to do something, you must be called to vocational ministry.
No.
And that's something that I have broken open the box of in my life is I can be a part of God's will and God's purpose, and I do not have to have a stage for it.
Right.
And that's a beautiful thing to understand is that we can jump in on his will and his design for our life, and it doesn't have to look like a vocational position.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be your job.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so, I think that is one of the hangups that we have when people are trying to discern God's purpose and will and all these things. And we get really hung up on all of these, the pressure that we put on it. And the reality is that I don't know what the specifics are for you.
Exactly.
But if it doesn't fall within following Jesus and helping other people follow Jesus, it's probably not actually aligned with the will of God.
Right. That's right.
And so, and I don't feel like that's too bold a claim to make.
No, for sure.
But with that comes a few, like conditions, I guess. So sometimes we think that doing what God has put in front of us, living in that purpose, means big, grand actions always.
Correct. Yeah.
And I don't think that that's necessarily true. I think
agree.
that one of the things that we get hung up on with Scripture is that really we're just getting a small little glimpse into the lives of these biblical heroes.
Yep.
Like, for the most part, not all of their lives were marked by these grand quests and adventures with God and doing what he has put in front of them. A lot of times there was just the simple saying yes.
Yeah.
Of this is what we're doing, and we're doing these things because it's what God has put in front of us, and we're going to be diligent in these things. And, and that's not to be undersold.
Right.
And so I think that when we talk about purpose and all these things, I mean, don't overcomplicate it.
For sure. Yeah. And sometimes don't, I've struggled in my life with looking for the neon signs in the sky for purpose.
Yeah.
I've been looking for the big signs.
Yeah.
And I've learned that they've come in the small, falling off of a roof right in front of you when you weren't expecting it, type of things, and you inadvertently putting on a coat, and it's your purpose.
Yeah.
So I think that's, another aspect is like, don't spend so much time looking for this neon sign in the sky that says what your purpose is when you're missing it falling right in front of you.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And I think the other piece of that is, in relation to doing what's right in front of you. Oh man, I had a thought, now I lost it. And this is like going to be a big one for editing. Oh gosh. All right. Losing it here, Cody. Okay. All right.
That's awesome. I love it.
I think it's like hour 20. All right. That was a really good thing that you just said. That's one we go with.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I love what you just said. That was fantastic. And I think that there's this piece of us that we see in Scott Calvin where he's pushing against his purpose that's in front of him.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of it is he is coming from the perspective of he doesn't believe that this could be real.
Right.
And I think that the same thing happens with us, is that we don't believe that what God has put in front of us is actually real.
Yeah.
And it feels like a fairy tale.
Absolutely.
It feels like it's reserved for people that are either much more holy than us, or it's like, hey, I'm really content with believing this stuff that keeps me out of hell.
Yeah.
But to actually believe that God is going to use me, either because we don't think that we are worthy of it, or we don't think that he's actually up to something around us.
Absolutely.
Like, I think we're totally missing the mark. The reality is that God is challenging you right where you're at to be a part of life change in the world around you.
Yeah.
If you aren't encouraging followers of Jesus, you're probably doing this wrong.
Yeah.
And it's also, not only are you probably doing this wrong, but on top of that, like, don't limit yourself and limit what God can do with you because you don't think that you fit the mold.
Yeah.
And you have to have a certain amount of faith that God actually can use broken people to do good things. And if that's hard for you to believe, just remember who invested in your life. That wasn't a perfect person. The person that helped you get to where you are, and we talked about this a few weeks ago, where we were talking about just different people who've influenced our lives, and who have helped us, like, direct our path towards Jesus. Like, none of them people were perfect.
Yeah,
not one of them, and they're not getting more perfect. It wasn't. We don't know saints, but we do know people that said yes to what God put in front of them.
That's right.
They saw the opportunity. They saw the Santa suit. They put it on. They went ahead and they did the thing.
Yeah.
And they didn't wait till their life was together to do that. They just trusted the process that if Jesus says, I'm with you to the end of the age, he actually means it, and he's going to be along with us along that ride. So if you're somebody who's been sitting on the sidelines, believe that your purpose is real.
Yeah.
Step into that and believe that you don't actually have to have it all figured out.
Yeah.
And that we have a Holy Spirit that's giving us guidance and equipping us so that we can do the things that God puts in front of us. But that's the internal reconciliation of, like, I'm going to say, yes to the purpose in front of me. But then there's this other piece, and I want to touch on it really quick.
Yeah.
It's the external pressure.
Yeah.
And it's easy to talk about the internal.
Yeah.
Because really you're just like, you're your own worst enemy.
Correct.
But sometimes the rest of the world around you is telling you, you can't do this either.
Absolutely.
And you shouldn't be doing this either.
Absolutely, man.
And so how do we move past that? How do we, like, as people who are trying to live in this purpose, what do we do when we encounter the issue of an outside voice saying, man, I don't believe that this is for you?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of, I don't know. I think there's a lot of things you have to dismantle there with even, listening to others, and even just the belief of, hey, I don't know. I lost my thought too.
It's okay. We're getting towards the end of this thing. So, all right. I posed the question. What you can just say that you don't know. But I would think that, do you have any personal experience of people like telling you, no, you can't do this?
Yeah.
Are you comfortable saying any of that? Or even just saying a sentence of, like I've been told. I can relate to that. I've been told that I have no business
for sure
living out the purpose that God has in front of me.
Yeah. I can speak on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think even from my own life, when I was really focused on music and really focused on traveling and doing that, I was told several different times, you can't do this. Don't do this. Maybe that's a hobby. Maybe, you know what I mean? And it really...
Was it because of the kind of music, or was it because of you, like your own personal baggage?
I think it was a little bit of... it was the kind of music.
Okay.
And also the... what is the word I'm looking for? Just the... Yeah, that's not a real job.
Oh, okay.
That's not a real... you should do something else.
I got you.
Type of thing. And me having the personality that I have, I'm insecure. And I listened, and still, even now, I still hear that,
I get you.
and a lot of things, and it bleeds through. So it's a struggle for me to block out what everybody else thinks.
Sure.
And what everybody else, and the pressure of everybody else, and even to the point of people being positive, like. People really, really wanted me to be a lead pastor, and they really, really spoke that into my life. And it's not necessarily a negative thing, like you can't do that, but it was also like, and I'm not saying that wasn't my purpose, but I'm saying I didn't feel that as much as they were feeling that.
Yeah.
And so just the aspect of listening to people outside, and pressuring you into either not doing your purpose or doing a purpose that maybe may not be yours. Like, we have to be careful of what we're taking in and what we're listening to. And I think that's a duality that's tough because, because people that are close to you, man, you want to listen to them.
Yeah.
So that's tough.
Yeah. And I don't have a ton of experience here, as far as like outside voices telling me I can't. Or that I'm not good enough, worthy enough, whatever.
Yeah.
Like that just wasn't part of my story.
Yeah.
There was a lot of internal struggle there. And I still feel that to some degree. There's, some imposter syndrome that comes with
absolutely, man.
Trying to live out the purpose that God has for you. And I don't think that's reserved for like people that are vocationally pastoring. I think that it's just anybody who's trying to be an example of who Jesus is. So when Paul says, follow me as I follow Christ, that's like the most sobering thing in the world. Cause it's like, man, as a pastor, as a person who's following Jesus, as somebody who like is trying to help people follow Jesus. And this isn't reserved for just people who make money. I'm saying
right.
As a seasoned Christian, we have a lot that listen to this podcast.
Right.
Are you living in such a way that you can say, follow me as I follow Christ? And are you willing to take that step? For me, that scares the crap out of me.
For sure.
Like Do I do a pretty good job of following Jesus most of the time? Yeah, but are there some areas where it's like I am not following Christ with this?
Don't follow me.
Yeah. Dude, I can tell you how to do this. I don't know that I can show you how to do this all the time. At least not well. But
exactly.
And I think that though, with that, if you are somebody who are you are enduring a lot of outside pressure of you don't belong here. Whether it's people in the church saying, hey, you don't belong here because you don't look like us. Right. Your background's not our background. You don't belong here. Yeah. Or if it's people from your past life or your the spaces of your life that they know your business and they know your brokenness and they say, hey, you're too broken to do these things for Christ's glory.
Absolutely.
Here's what you ultimately have to be secure in. We don't get our truth from what everybody else says. Our truth comes from God.
Amen.
And so he's called you to something bigger.
Yeah.
He's called you to something better. He's going to equip you to that end.
Yeah.
I promise you, if every person who had a ugly looking past, who had no business saying yes to the purpose that Jesus put in front of them,
right?
If everybody who was in that situation, who had people around them and said, hey, you're not cut out for this, if they all submitted to that and said, yeah, you're right, we definitely wouldn't have the majority of the New Testament.
Dude, absolutely. We're all exiles.
Yeah, yep. And
all of us were exiles.
Yep. And so even somebody like me who hasn't had like somebody been like, hey, you're way too messed up to be able to do any of this stuff.
Right.
I still think that if you do have those voices in your ear, and if your biggest critic is yourself, you have to remember that your calling doesn't come from yourself or from the people around you.
Amen.
The calling, the purpose that's been placed on your life, and we're talking macro purpose here.
Yeah.
We're not in the business of deciding the nuance of God's call in your life.
Yeah.
I don't think it's nearly as complicated as we make it out to be.
It's not. Yeah. It's not.
I think that if we start boiling things down and filtering it through, am I following Jesus and am I helping other people follow Jesus?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. If you if you look at your life and God, he created us.
Yeah.
And what we love doing, if you love cooking, use that.
Oh yeah.
Use that.
There's so many ways you can use that.
Right. It's there's so many things you can do.
Yep.
And serve, set the table, set the table and bring people to the table and do that. That may be your purpose. Like it's some small things that we need to look to that we can, that can help us figure it out.
And it might just even be one person. Like
exactly.
The other thing is like, we talk about helping other people follow Jesus. It might just be one person. Might just be one person.
Yeah.
It might be visiting people that are in that are shut-ins. It might be, I don't know what it is for you, but I know that it falls into that category. And I know that doesn't come from me and it doesn't come from you.
Absolutely.
I'm not here to even tell you that you can't do the things that God has put in front of you.
Yeah, man.
But I am telling you that he has put something in front of you.
Yep.
You can say yes or no to it.
Yep.
And nothing that anybody else tells you actually gets rid of that purpose on your life.
Yep.
One more thing, at that breakfast yesterday, we were talking about fallen pastors and like people that, have made mistakes on a national scale, and it's embarrassing for them. It's embarrassing for the church. It's embarrassing on a lot of different levels.
Yeah.
And we were talking about like, what do you do after that? Like, and how do you, as a Christian, if that person really is, I don't know their heart, but if they're actually following Jesus, their desire is to be a Christ follower, but they made a mistake. How do you recover from that? And are you exempt from purpose at that point? And now that we're having this conversation, I just don't think that ever happens, that you're exempt from purpose. Now, I do think that you have to use wisdom and discernment as to what your nuanced platform of what you're going to do next, what that actually looks like.
What it looks like.
And I think that is an individual thing, and you need to talk to somebody who's wiser than you to help you navigate the complexities of that.
Yeah.
But if you're somebody who is carrying some baggage from something you've done wrong, you feel like you have disqualified yourself from purpose because you were a Christian who had these mistakes and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's true. And I think that and I don't think that's true because that's not the character and the quality that we see from God.
Yeah, man.
That's,
that hits home.
Yeah.
Because I struggled with, obviously my failure wasn't national, but I struggled with purpose, and I still think I do struggle with purpose still. Like what is my purpose now?
Yeah.
Like what am I doing? I still struggle with that. Like what God, what do you want me to do?
Sure.
And it's something that it really was sobering. Going through all that and just the struggle of feeling exiled from purpose, especially when you have people communicating that, oh, you're done.
Oh, yeah.
Not everybody did.
Sure.
But,
and the other thing is like, and I'm not telling you you are or you aren't done
Right.
with certain things, but like
Right.
I think there's some things that, you might be done with that.
absolutely. Absolutely.
But there's wisdom in that, but that doesn't mean that your purpose is over.
Correct.
Like, I think that, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think the greatest demonstration of love that we have in Christ Jesus is that he died for our sins.
Absolutely.
I think the second greatest demonstration of love that we have in Christ Jesus is that he gives us a purpose and a calling. And he didn't love us enough just to save us, but he loves us enough to call us and equip us and enable us to be a part of a bigger story.
Amen.
That's not about us,
Amen.
but it's about his redemptive power. And in working in that story and working in that purpose, we further glorify Jesus and further elevate his redemptive power because he's able to use bad apples like us to help people know his redeeming love.
That's right.
And it's not about Garrett. It's not about Cody. It's not about listener. It's about Jesus.
That's right.
And that's special. Now, again, back to your what you're saying, I think that there are some things that are probably maybe, different now.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't mean that you're exempt or exiled.
Exactly.
From purpose.
Exactly. And I think I looked and I had to come to a place, and it was a struggle for a little bit, but I do remember coming to a place where like, you know what, I'm okay if I never step foot back behind a pulpit again.
Right.
I'm okay. And I think this, I really do think that I don't think I'll pastor again or in that capacity.
Yeah.
And, but when I came to this place where my heart was truly free of and clear of seeking out, I have to preach again. I have to do this again. When I came to the place where I'm like, God, you know what? If I never get behind a pulpit again, if I never step foot on stage again, I know that my heart is with you and whatever you want for my life.
Yeah.
And when that happened, it wasn't very long that I got to preach again.
Yeah.
And it may not work that way for everybody, but like when I stopped trying to manufacture my purpose and my calling again, it just seemed like, God's going to work this out.
Well, and on top of that, I like to preach. I have a lot of opportunities to preach.
Yeah.
But my calling isn't to preach.
Right.
My calling is to follow Jesus and help other people follow Jesus.
That's it,
if
man.
preaching is one of the ways in which I do that, cool.
That's it.
If I lose my voice tomorrow, which it sounds like I might, the way that this cold is kicking my butt.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't mean that
right.
I'm not fulfilling my purpose.
That's right, man.
And macro purpose doesn't change.
That's right.
The micro pieces, the minutia of all of it.
Yep.
It does.
It looks different.
It looks
may
different.
look different for everybody.
And it looks different seasonally.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. And it may look different for our lives and it may look different for my life now, but it didn't ever look different for God.
Yeah.
God, he had his pen writing the whole time.
Yeah, that's right. And it was a jet stream.
Yeah.
0.5.
And it was a uni jet stream.
Yeah, no.
That's awesome.
Full
man.
circle.
That's awesome.
No.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Hey, you guys don't know this, but Cody has a lot of editing to do in this podcast.
Yeah.
And so if you know Cody, if you've seen him, if you have him on Instagram, make sure you send him a thank you. He does all for real. Like, man, that's the unsung hero thing. There are some podcast episodes that take zero effort production wise.
Yeah.
There are others like this one that will take a lot. And so
It's going to be fun.
Just know I appreciate you. Our listeners appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
And I'm thankful. I'm thankful that you are willing to do these things, because if it were on me, it wouldn't get done. So,
yeah, thankful they're easy. So
most of them
are easy.
Yeah.
This one will take a
This one will
little
take a little extra effort. So
It'll be fun.
But hey, tell the people what they want to hear.
Hey, God loves us first, God loves us best, and God loves us most. This is the Bad Apples Podcast. Merry Christmas.